Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something absolutely massive. We're breaking down two announcements from Meta that have, and I'm not exaggerating here, pushed the entire field of AI into a brand new and way more serious era. So, let's just start with the bombshell. This is the quote from Mark Zuckerberg himself. Now, this isn't just some corporate update. This is a claim that completely reframes the whole conversation. We're moving from AI as a powerful tool to AI as something that could, one day, start to evolve all on its own.
And what we're looking at here, it wasn't just one announcement, right? It was this dual shockwave, a real 1-2 punch. And together, these two things represent a huge turning point for technology and, let's be real, maybe for humanity itself.
Okay, so the crucial point here is the timing. You gotta get the timing. At the exact moment their AI is reportedly getting powerful enough to start teaching itself, Meta is making the strategic choice to keep its most advanced stuff under lock and key. That is a massive, massive shift.
Okay, let's really dig into this first claim, because, let's be honest, self-improvement sounds like something ripped straight out of a sci-fi movie. But according to Meta, this isn't fiction anymore. It's now an experimental reality that's happening inside their labs.
So what does that actually mean in the real world? Well, it means the AI is basically graduating from just following our instructions. It's starting to figure out ways to upgrade its own abilities, to get better at things without an engineer telling it how. This is the beginning of autonomous evolution.
This table is really helpful because it kind of maps out the whole journey. Right now, we are all living in the world of narrow AI, or ANI. That's the first row. You know, things like your voice assistant or Google Translate. They're amazing at one job. For years, the big goal was AGI, general AI, a system as smart as a human. But what Meta is talking about, this self-improvement, that's the rocket fuel that could blast us right past AGI and into that final category, superintelligence. An intellect that is just way, way beyond our own.
So that's piece number one. Now let's pivot to the second major development and see how these two connect. We're talking about Meta's huge strategic shift away from transparency, something they used to be a huge champion of.
This slide just lays out the central conflict, the big debate that is gripping the entire AI world. On the left, you've got the argument for being open about it all. Share the tech, speed up innovation, let everyone help find the bugs. But on the right, you have the argument for caution. Lock it down, prevent it from being used for bad stuff like fake news or cyber attacks, risks that become truly catastrophic when the AI gets this powerful.
So by choosing to close the door on its most powerful models, Meta is sending a really clear signal. They're suggesting that, from where they're sitting, the potential risks of this new self-improving tech are starting to outweigh the benefits of keeping it out in the open. Now, when you put these two things together, a self-improving AI and a closed-door policy, you run straight into what might be the single most important and difficult challenge of our entire century. This is it. This is the whole ball game. This is the fundamental question that scientists, philosophers, and now governments are just scrambling to answer. Because once a system is smarter than its creators, you can't just assume you're in control anymore.
So, alignment. What is it? In plain English, it's the challenge of making sure a superintelligent AI doesn't just look at human goals and think, you know, that's pretty inefficient. Or even worse, you guys are actually in my way. It's about building our values into its very core before it's too late.
And please, don't make the mistake of thinking this is some problem for the distant future. That's the old way of thinking. With an AI that improves itself, the speed of development could just go vertical. It could become exponential, and that means our window to solve this alignment problem, it's shrinking every single day.
So, what does this all mean for us? For the future of humanity? Well, it means a concept that was once confined to sci-fi paperbacks is now becoming a tangible, and for a lot of people, a pretty unnerving prospect.
The technological singularity. You've probably heard the term. It's that wild, hypothetical moment when machine intelligence doesn't just match, but blows past human intelligence. It would trigger a runaway explosion of technological growth that we can't even begin to comprehend. And what Meta just announced suggests we are officially on that road.
And that's exactly where we are. We are on a blade's edge. On one side, you have this incredible promise, the potential to solve hunger, disease, climate change, you name it. And on the other side, the existential risk of creating something we can no longer control.
Ultimately, these developments from Meta are a massive call to action. They're a reminder for all of us that our future isn't just being written in a lab somewhere. It's being determined by the wisdom and the responsibility that we choose to use right now, as we stand on this cliff edge. The key takeaway? We absolutely must walk this path with our eyes wide open.